Hey, what is up everyone? Pastor JAMZ here back with another review, and today we have the latest album by Adele, 30. Adele is 33-year-old English singer-songwriter from the United Kingdom, and I've admired her work throughout the years, such as 21 and 25. Uh, so I think she's one of the best pop stars out there. Really melancholy, ambient type tone and themes that she explores with love, of course. And I didn't really know what to expect. I know that she, I most likely would have continued this type of sound. Uh, of course, supplying us with her beautiful vocals and tugging at the heartstrings. So when she announced 30, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even listen to the lead up single "Easy on Me" that led up to this album, and I just wanted to dive in, not even knowing. So let's jump right into it. 12 tracks and 58 minutes, a good sized album, and a more of a complex album, if you will. One of the more complicated albums that I've heard, and that's not in a bad way. This is a really, when it comes to something like this, to this degree, a really powerful album that comes out. It's really complicated in a good sense because it really has the listener has the listener really dive in and listen to the tracks over and over again to get the true meaning or what get messaging that they might have missed the first listen or the second listen. Gets you back over and over again. However, it's not complicated in the sense where it's like so difficult to understand what she's trying to convey. I don't really mean it like that. I really use that word in a positive sense. And she starts off great in Strangers by Nature, kind of easing the listener into this track, doing her and, this melancholy type sound, and eases into the lead up single, Easy on Me, which is easily the one of the best tracks on here, if not the best track. A beautiful and amazing vocals. She explores these themes of putting your heart in someone else's hands, just taking a whole leap of faith, and just really beautiful song. Honestly, probably one of the best songs of the year. And then we take a turn, a huge turn, because we move on to the third track, My Little Love, that really sets the tone for what is to come for the album. I thought it was going to be, a straightforward album, but nope. In My Little Love, she has like these tracks that are 6 minutes plus that she kind of places throughout the album, kind of like stepping stones and really impactful tracks that get the listener, their mind moving. And I'm really glad that she separated them throughout the album, not putting them like back to back or whatever, because it would have been overwhelming. But in this track, My Little Love, it is really a turn because it's like this really melancholy, somber track that has like these beautiful orchestral violin strings and stuff like that is spread out throughout the entire album. Pianos as well that are beautiful. Um, she's essentially kind of conflicted in herself because she's at this point in her life that she's experienced some of the biggest things in her life, kind of like having a being a mother, having a child, going through a divorce this year. That takes a toll on people, and that she lays it all out. And My Little Love, she throughout the track, it's like I said, it's like the somber, melancholy type tone of her having these difficulties and issues within herself that are keeping her from being the best mother she can be. And honestly, she's disappointed in herself, and that's like really powerful. It takes a lot of guts to say something like that. She even has like these moments where she's talking to her son throughout the track, and it's crazy. And at the end, I don't know if she's like talking to someone or on the phone, but she has like a breakdown, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And it's just then we move on to the next track, which I do have a problem with. Not problem with the track, but when you come off of a song as powerful as that, and you move on to more jumpy, modern style R&B type track, kind of takes away from the impact that the track had. You know what I mean? That's a problem that occurs quite a little bit in this album, where you have like these impactful tracks, kind of like these low, really poetic, sad tracks, and then you'll have like these jumpy or or swooning tracks that have like these jazz elements implemented into them. And not only that, but you'll have like these weird squeaky background vocals that are not from her, I believe. I just squeaky female background vocals that are not necessary in these tracks. There's like 3 tracks in here. One of them is in Cry Your Heart Out, and I believe it's Oh My God. But why are they there? They don't need to be there. If they get taken away, I mean, if anything, if they get taken away, the song's still great. But even with it on there, but it's just like annoying, honestly. Like, why? It's weird. It kind of like gets in the way a little bit, and I'm not gonna make a big deal about it, but I just wanted to mention that unnecessary things. You know what I mean? But I like how she explores like these ambient pop style throughout the whole album. She explores like pop in general, with kind of like these jumpy tracks like Can I Get It, and like these kind of like this fast paced acoustic guitar strings that keeps the track going, and really just like kind of like a really strange, not strange, but I didn't really expect her to do tracks like these. Oh My God is another track that kind of has like this jumpy, really positive, feel good theme to it, and just kind of like being positive with herself, kind of noticing how, you know what, I'm gonna work on this, and everything's gonna work out in the end. And also she also explores, like I said, she implements elements of jazz more towards the end of the tracks, and towards the later half of the album is where we get to the really not so positive tracks anymore. More of like these sad, somber type tracks, especially after like the interlude, which has the only feature Errol Garner. Really beautiful track. I believe she only did the production, which is like piano and stuff like that. But here's where we get to the nitty gritty of the video. Woman Like Me, the track after the interlude, I have a big issue with. So essentially, it's kind of like this R&B soul type track where she's kind of explaining her divorce, and like the men that, the scum of the earth, that are like complacent, and they the consistency is key in a relationship, and she my issue is this. Look, I think that she kind of portrays this person, or men in general, as like they have issues, because this, in all honesty, th- this is the only track where she really does something like this, and it's fine. But she dives into men, saying that they have issues and nothing can save them. Like they're just douchebags or something like that. That they can't be saved, that they won't work on their problems, and consistency is key in a relationship. Well, her problem is she's being hypocritical. She's not consistent herself. She has issues of her own, and she admits it, that it kind of gets in the way of her own relationships as well. And like the last track, Love Is a Game, she admits that she's difficult to love. So why would you put woman like me in the why would you make a song like that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. I didn't want to come off a certain way, and I'm not trying to, but if you're going to bash down on a certain demographic of like like men, then, kind of put it in a different album, or release it something in something else. Why would you put it in something like this, where you're exploring your own issues, and admitting that you're not consistent yourself. You know what I mean? And and it's not to say that I understand where she's coming from, because I do, but I don't really. It kind of stands out like a sore thumb, honestly, and double edged sword. It's a double standard. But in the end, aside from that, the last three tracks, "Hold On," "To Be Loved," and "Love Is a Game," kind of just homages to herself and what she's going to prepare herself for the future. And I think that's great. They're the like 5 minutes plus, 6 minutes plus tracks. Really beautiful, and just kind of leaves on a good note, I guess. Um, like I said, beautiful production. You have like these orchestral strings, really triumphant in the end, and like these just really amazing in general. I can't really describe enough how beautiful it sounds. The production and her beautiful vocals coming together, and you know, I think in this album she really explores something that's complicated within herself, and she kind of struggles to release a proper message, and I think that kind of plays it all out in the end. 30, with her being 30 being an album where she kind of comes together and going through these big things in her life. I feel like she struggled to make this album and put it together in the image that she wanted. And as much as she tried, it still comes out complicated. And not I mean that in the most positive way, because it honestly works. The album works in that way. And I feel like she saw that as well and released the album, because that's just what she's going through. It's a complicated situation, and people go through complicated things. And no matter how much she tried, this album wasn't going to be like what she had envisioned. And I really admire that she accepts that. I'm giving 30 by Adele a 8 out of 10. I think that this was one of the most intriguing and interesting albums of the year. Aside from some album structuring, that big bump in the road with A Woman Like Me, um, and some minor background vocals that were some issues. I think this is a solid album. If you are a fan of poetry or lyricism, beautiful vocals and ambient tones with beautiful orchestral production, give this a listen. I guarantee you are going to be swayed. Anyways, that is the review. Link will be in the description below if you all want to check it out. Make sure you all subscribe and share with a friend. Peace and stay safe.